So good afternoon and welcome to PowerPoint Advanced. My name is Marites Macbagal from MTA Design and Development, Organizational Strategy and Design Group. And I am here today to be able to cover what is it, how to do some PowerPoint Advanced technique. This afternoon's learning objective, participants will be able to add a visual appeal to help your audience understand the material and to catch your audience attention by adding icons, pictures, video, applying animation and transition in PowerPoint presentation. So in short, what we're going to do is we're going to insert icons, pictures, and video as the first part of our discussion. And then I will show you how to add visual appeal to your slideshow by applying what you call transition and control, and of course, your presentation timings. Next is actually draw attention to your specific elements in the slide by applying what you call animation. And this afternoon, I'm going to show you how to use a text animation and object animation. So I'm just going to minimize this presentation and open another presentations that I have created that we are going to use for our discussions. So we will start with, of course, adding icons. I'm just going to scroll to a slide that is temporary. Okay. How do we insert icons? And if you are going to insert an icon into your presentation, there are actually two ways of inserting it. If you select and selected this type of slide, okay, where you have your title and you have your content, right here is an icon to insert an icon, right? So in the middle, I could click on it and that will allow me to be able, see, okay, see the stock images and icon is one of them. So these are some of the icons. And if you click on the icons, so you could actually scroll to be able to see some of the common icons you have right here. Once you have selected a particular icon, you could simply click on insert button on the lower right hand corner of the screen. Let me just close this. Another way of doing it is, of course, by using what you call your insert ribbon. In the insert ribbon, you could see out there that I could actually be able to add an icon using the illustrations group. Icons is one of the options you have right there. So if I click on icons, there you go. It's trying to load icons in my PowerPoint. And you could actually be able to see again the different icons that you have on the screen. Now, it is not just icons that you could actually be able to add or use. If you notice, there's also some images, okay, that you could have access to, cut out people, you have stickers, you have illustrations, and cartoons people. It's just a little bit slow, but these are some of the category if you start navigating or roaming around. So if I use, for instance, the cat people, I could scroll and I could select one of them for my presentation. So let's say I decide to use this guy who's doing her pointing, and all I have to do is click on insert, and I have this cut out guy in my presentation. There you go. And I could move him by simply putting my mouse on top of the icon and drag it. Just like what I've said, you could continue to insert certain icons. And let's take a look. I could even select multiple icons at one point. So if I have these icons and I would like to utilize multiple items. There you go. So as I scroll, I see some of them, and I would like to utilize some of those icons. Let's say I'm going to select this. See the check mark that I have, and then also I have this in my icon, and probably I'm just going to use another icon for my presentation. And let's say I'm just going to add a building. So notice you see right here, insert three. So when I click on insert, those three icons are now inserted. And how do I remove them from, the overlap look? Simply click on the first one and drag. Click on the next one and drag, and then the next one. So you could scatter them and be able to utilize them. Now, take a look at the right side. In our Office 365, you will always be able to see the designer suggestion. If you wanted to change the layout, take a look. As I hover or I click on it, it will give me the different design I could use for my presentation, for whatever kind of design you would like to use. However, if you, let's say, decide to use this and then put your text in here, you could actually do so. Okay, so let's continue and learn how to insert pictures. I have multiple pictures, but before inserting multiple pictures into my presentation, you could also use the same stock image to insert a picture using this icon. I could click in here, or I could use insert picture option. Okay, that's if I wanted to get the picture within my computer, or I could use the online stock images that is available for us. Again, these are some of the images that you could actually select. But for today's exercise, I have already downloaded some pictures online and that I would like to use for our demonstration this afternoon. So I'm just going to close it. At least you have an idea where to find it. But what I'm going to do is, again, I will use the other way of inserting my pictures. So I go to insert and I go to picture, and I will get the picture from my device, and I have it here in my PowerPoint presentation. Okay. I have pictures, and I am going to use a GIF image, GIF, for my presentation. So I will insert this and take a look. I would just drag this, okay, and probably just drag a little bit more, expand this. There you go. And that is my picture. If you notice, take a look. This is the effect of a GIF image, okay? If you decide to use and download a GIF image. So I'm going to add additional picture. Let me turn this off. And I'm just going to insert another picture from my device. I will insert a butterfly and also these birds and a swan. There you go. And I will insert all these three. Take a look. I inserted three different image. And let me just click away from it. I will start with this one, which I'm going to bring down a little bit. Okay. And I will just reduce the size of my swan. I have the bird that I'm going to reduce its size and put the bird right here. And a butterfly that I could also reduce in size. You notice I used the upper or even the lower right handle to be able to adjust the size proportionately manually. And I will just put my butterfly right here. Or let me just bring it up a little. a little bit. And that's how easy it is to insert picture. Okay, so I'm just moving on to the next. So the next thing I'm going to show you is how do we insert video if the video has been recorded and can be found in your device, so or rather in your computer. So again, you have their options here. I would just use the direct option here, which is easier to use. Insert, and if you look to your right under the media, you have video. Video from this device. I have an MP4 that I have recorded before, and I'm just going to insert that video. There you go. I could just expand this to make this a little bit bigger. Okay. Okay, and I'm just going to close it. So this is my video. I would like to run it. There you go. So this is how you actually could run your video. So you could resize it to the size that you wanted. If you wanted to put it and keep it within the frame, so you could actually keep it within the frame. There you go. Okay. Now, how about inserting a video? An online video. How do we do that? So when you're using an online video, allow me to be able to show you quickly on how to, let's say I would just use a cartoons video. Thomas Train. There you go. So I'm just going to get this Thomas Train. There you go. I have this. I have this Thomas. Okay, so if I like this video, okay, and see, so I could use some of this. It's too loud. I think I would rather use another one. Let me just select another video. That video does not interest me too much. There you go. And let me see if I could get, okay. So I'm just going to use short video. Okay. There you go. And I'm just going, so take a look at what I'm going to do. Okay. All I'm going to do is click on the share. Okay. And of course, I'm going to skip the ad. I'm going to click the share. You will be able to get this information. Okay. All you have to do is get the copy, close this. Okay. Let me close this. And now when I'm here to insert my video, I go insert video, and I will select online video. Okay, watch it. Whatever I've copied from YouTube, I would now paste it in here. The moment you start pasting it, you could actually be able to see a preview of it, knowing that you were able to paste it successfully. And all you have to do is click on insert. And you could do that with any video that you could actually download for free online. Okay. And of course, let me just make it a little bit bigger. And there you go. You could see Thomas and Friends. If you click on it, there you go. And that's my video playing. Okay. So let me stop my video. Okay, and that's how you insert a video. I hope it's very clear and it's very simple. Next, after successfully being able to insert our pictures, icons, um, videos, I am now going to show you how to add, change, and remove transition between slides. Okay. Now, a slide transition is the visual effect that occurs when you move from one slide to another. So let me just go on top of my screen to be able to see the first slide. So when you wanted to move from one slide to the next during a presentation, you could control the speed, the sound, and even customize the look of the transition effect. So what you're going to do is we're going to add a slide transition to bring your presentation to life, to give it more excitement. Okay. PowerPoint includes a wide array of transition effect that you could apply to the slides in your presentation, which I'm going to show you in a few minutes. You could modify the speed of the transition, change the transition attributes such as the direction or the shape depending on the type of transition you have selected. And then you could also add sounds to transitions. Transitions can play automatically or could respond to a keystroke or a mouse click or play after a specified period of time. So you could also put certain timings, which I'm going to show you. You could apply a single transition for the entire presentation, or you could specify the specific transition for each slide. Okay, so let us start. What is the first step to add a transition to bring your presentation to life? So the first step is select the slide you want to add the transition to. So I am now currently selecting the first slide in my presentation, slide number 1. Then you go to Transitions tab or the Transitions ribbon. And then take a look at your transition to this slide. You notice I have here a list, okay, or the images and the different types of transition. If you use the arrow or the more arrow, you will be able to see that these transition is actually separated by the speed, the subtle, exciting, and dynamic content. Subtle, okay? For instance, I am just going to use the push. There you go. See how the slide push? So that is subtle. Aside from that, you will be able to see the effect option. That is a push from the bottom. If I select push from the left, you see how it goes? From the right and from the top. See that? So aside from selecting, again, the transition, you could also select the effect option. That's what you call effect option. So each transition have a different effect option. For instance, again, if I click on the drop down, I select something from the exciting, let's say, peel off. You see how it peels off? And the effect is coming from the left. And this is how it looks when it's coming from the right. You see how it works? Let's take a look at another one. What if I want to try the comb? Another exciting one. There you go. The effect is horizontal or vertical. You see the effect of each of the, so each transition have different effects depending on which one you would like to use. Now, aside from the effect, I will stay with a comb for now, right? So you could also see, so I was able to modify and make some changes by selecting it. And then you could also have a preview. Take a look. If I click on the preview, after making my selection, it will actually be able to see how it looks. So that's my effect option. Now, I want you to look on this side, on the right side, the timings. Right now, okay, the duration is 1 right there. Okay. And if I increase, and let me just show you again, this is 1. Okay. You see the speed? If I increase from 1 to 2 and I preview, do you see a slight change in the speed of how it does the transition? So I increase from 1 second to 2 seconds. And when I made it into 2, once again, let me do a preview. Notice how slow it is. If I put it back to 1, again, I will preview. You see a quicker movement on that transitions, right? So that's what you do. So again, let me remind you, the higher the number is, the slower it becomes. The lower the number is, the faster it moves. So now, if I decide to apply this transition to all of my slide, I could simply apply to all. Okay, and if I do that, and if I say, and remember, I'm still using a mouse click, what it's going to do is take a look. See? So it will actually do it for every slide that I have. So that's how to apply it. Now, once you, let's say after reviewing it and you say, hey, I don't think I like it, you could always remove it. So if you say none and apply to all, there won't be any transition at all. Okay, there won't be any transition at all. Okay, and that's how you remove a transition. All you have to do is go to transition and press none. Okay, so I've shown you again how to use the mouse, and I am going to also show you what if I would like to use my effect in here. So let's say I selected a particular slide and I wanted to, I'm just going to use a simpler where I have less presentation. Okay, this is the slide that I use for my in-person class where I had actually put in advanced timing. Take a look. This is my advanced timing. Okay, originally, okay, I'm just going to just remove this. Okay, and apply to all. So both of them, I don't have any timing. So how do I apply timing? So there are actually, if I decide to do my timings, right? So I could actually be able to do my timing group here and try to increase. I'm just going to put, you know, a short period and I say 10 seconds. And if I take out the mouse click, okay, and if I do my slideshow, there you go. I even have the sound. And after 10 seconds, okay, it's going to actually move to the next one. There you go. So after 10 counts, it will actually move. And you heard also the sound because I selected a sound right there to notify people it's moving. So this is where you could actually do the sound. If I don't have any sound and I continue to run it, again, it will just run without any sound. Okay, so you could select your, the number of seconds and it would automatically move without clicking your mouse. Notice my mouse is intact. I'm not clicking it. It will actually move by itself without the sound. Okay, so that's how you actually do it. Now, let me press escape for the essence of time and minimize this once again. So that's how you could actually do your transition from one slide to another. Again, if you wanted to do different transition for your presentation. You could have multiple transition for your presentation. You don't necessarily have to have multiple ones, single ones. But what is recommended is actually to use no more than three transition in your presentations. It's not too overwhelming or confusing because remember you are using a business presentation, not a cartoons or animated presentation, unless you're using an animated presentation or a cartoons presentation. Okay, now let's move on to the next topic because I would like to spend more time with this, and I could probably ask some of you if you would like to participate, but I will allow you to do some of the exercises. So I'm just going to go to, and let me share first to you this presentation. Okay, okay. Now, we will now go to the next topic, which is step to manage an animation and effect. Okay? So there are different ways to start animation in your presentation. So first, there's what you call on click, wherein it will start an animation when you click a slide. The second option is with previews, which means it will play an animation at the same time as the previous animation in your sequence. Third is after the previous, which will start an animation immediately after the previous one happened. And then duration means the length or the shorten an effect, lengthen or shorten an effect. And of course, the delay is to add time before an effect runs. So just to put a little delay before the next, animation can appear. So I'm going to share this information with you. After the class, I will send this information to you via email. Okay, so allow me to minimize this. So what are the steps in to animate text or object? So in any of this topic, you first thing you have to do is to select the object or the text you want to animate. And then of course, you will have to select the ribbon animations. And when you select the ribbon animations and you notice there are many animations, so you will have to start selecting your your animation and the effect options, just like what I've said or mentioned. So let me start with slide number 2, where I have a text, a group of texts, and demonstrate to you. So these are the group of texts I would like to use and create animation. So I have here, see my open PowerPoint, I have a list, correct? So you notice the moment I selected, so this is inactive, I am in animation, but the moment I select the border, because I would like to apply animation to the entire, you know, the placeholder box, you notice how I could see the different animation. Once again, if I click on the more, they are actually grouped to none, entrance, emphasis, exit, and motion path. So I'm just going to use one of the effect that we have here. So how would I like to my text to enter my presentation? So I'm going to use float in. By the way, everybody, if you have any questions during the course of this explanation, I have the chat and the Q&A open. You could put in your question in the chat and in the Q&A. If I have time, I'll be able to answer it. If not, I am going to send the response or the answer to your question directly to your email. Okay, so I'm just going to use float in. Okay, and take a look. You see how the text float in. Now, just like how you did the transition in animation, when you select a particular, a particular kind of animation, okay, there is also an effect option. If you click on the effect option, you notice how it floats up. How would it look if it floats down? By that, I think I would prefer to use the float up. There you go. Now, take a look. The sequence right now by default is by paragraph. That's why it did the first number and the second number, which is considered another paragraph. But if you say as one object, there you go. You see the difference? How it actually, animate itself as one. If I click on the other option, all at once is basically as one object. It's just the same. Now, there is another option in here. So I will go by the paragraph, I think, so it's not too overwhelming. There is also another option that you could actually be able to do. Aside from that, you could actually put in additional, effect on it. So take a look to enhance it. So I will click on animation pane so that it will give me a list of the animation I have selected. Look at that. This is the first and this is the second. Okay. For my second one, if I click on it and I would select, you notice I have here effect options and timings, right? Either I use the effect options. You notice this is going to pop up. Float up, this is the effect option. I also have the timings and the speed of how fast it will work. So I could reduce the speed to make it into a medium so it's not too fast. And my text animation, right now, they are group text by the first level paragraph. Okay, so this is the first level paragraph. If I select the second level paragraph and I click OK, okay, now if I preview, take a look. Second, see that? It broke it down into the second level, correct? Now, again, I will continue and try the third level. So I'm going to go here and text animation and use the third level. And if when I click OK and I do my preview and take a look, look at, sometimes you wonder, how do I do that? See, and now it gives you the answer on how to be able to show your, text one line at a time. Again, where do you get it? It's actually, you click on the drop down arrow on your animation pane, and all you have to do is go to your effect options and select text animation and select the group text. You could also put some kind of automatic, you know, and put the speed. You could also put the timings in here. You could put in the delay if you wanted it to be a little bit slower before the next ones appear, especially if you're talking or reading and explaining it. Okay. So again, you could do it with your speed from medium. If you could make it fast, if I click on OK, watch. So this is faster. See, it's a little bit faster than the medium. Okay. So that's actually, then you could also put some kind of timing, the delay. If I use 0.5 seconds, if I click OK, again, we preview. You see, there's a little pause. Just a 0.5 is just a very little pause in between. Okay. Now, you could also have multiple. Okay, so that's good. Let me go to another slide where I could actually apply, multiple or multiple animation. Okay, so sometimes you might want to just have a multiple. There you go. You have this. What if I want it to bounce? There you go. So that's how I want my icon to appear. And I could also, there you go, add another animation. Once it bounces, I want it also to grow Okay, do you see what I did? So I did, it will bounce and it will grow. Okay, and then for the text, I am just going to take a look. What's good? I want it to fly in, and I want my fly in to come from the bottom right, and I wanted to put, just like what I did earlier, my text animation. I'll put it in level 2, okay? And I want it to be in fast. When I click OK, there you go. So let's preview, bounce. It will rotate and it will start showing your text, okay? It's very easy, right? So those are what you could do for text animation. Now, for the last one, okay, I'm just going to show you how to animate graphics or pictures. So this is the different pictures that I was able to insert a while ago, right? So if I would like to insert or use animation in this inserted pictures, let me start with the bird. So I will click on the bird, okay? And I want it to fly in. That is my first, but not coming from down. I want it to fly in from the left. See how fast it is? Again, it is right there and from the left. And then I would like it to also, so I will click here on my effect options and on my timing. Not too fast. I want it to be fast, but not too fast. So let me see. There you go. Then I would like to add another animation. It went in, right? I want it to fly out. So for my exit, I want it to fly out. Okay. But when it fly out, again, I want it to fly to the right. Okay. Now, once I've selected that, I will go back to my timings right there. Not too fast. I want it to actually move slow. Let's see. There you go. See how it move out? It fly out of the screen. What? And then right after that, I want my butterfly to come in. So the butterfly will now fly in. Okay. I want it to fly in, but I want it to fly in from the top, not from the bottom, but from the top left. There you go. Again, that speed I'm going to change, not too fast. Butterfly moves very slow. So I want it to move slowly. There you go. And after that, okay, so I still have it active. I am going to add another animation and I am going to use more path options. You see this? I have all of this, but I could actually select some of the motion paths right there. And I would like to select, okay, see that? I'm going to use the S curve too. And you see how, again, it will fly with 5 words, and then my butterfly would come in and it would fly. Now, I could extend this a little bit. Okay. After I want it to exit, add another exit out, fly out, and I wanted it to fly out to your top right. Okay. And my top right, again, for the timing, I want it to be very slow. So there you go. Fly, fly, fly out. Perfect, right? And I want my swan to actually float. Okay. And I want it to float. Oops, not float up. I guess I'm going to use the fly in because the fly in have the option coming from the left, and I want to reduce the speed to the very, very slow, extremely slow. Okay. And I click OK. There you go. So when I do a preview, hey, what happened to my, let me just make sure that this is bring to the front. Okay, to make sure it's running. Okay, let me, you see how I did, I think it's too slow is what I did. Let me see, timings, extremely slow. Let me put it into the medium, unclick. I want it to start, okay, with the previews. Okay, there you go. So let's see. There you go. Okay, now let's see. And there you go. So my swan flew from left to right. But I used that flew option just for it to move. Now I would like my swan to continue to move, right? Do I get any volunteer who would like to try to make the swan move? I could give somebody an option. You could put your name in the chat so I could call you so you could try it, and I could give you access to my screen so you could actually make this one move as part of our class presentation. Anybody would like to? You could put your name in the chat if you wanted to. Anybody? Any volunteer? I'm waiting. I'm going to help you. Don't worry. I'll tell you what to do to be able to let it move. All we're going to do is to add an additional animation to this one. Anybody is interested to try? Okay. Okay, okay, thanks, Elizabeth. You think you got it? Okay, thank you so much. At least I got a response from somebody. Okay, so I'm just going to add an animation in here. So since I would allow it to float, not float, but I would like it to also move. So I'm just going to use one of my motion path. Take a look. So these are some of the motion path, and I could actually from left to right. Okay. So this is going to the right. There you go. So it's going to move. That's okay. So that's a good one. So it actually moved a little here. So I'm just going to allow it to move a little further. So if you preview, this is how the animation would happen to your presentation. And you could actually reduce the speed. Okay, so that is medium. Timing, make it a little bit slow. Click OK, and let's take a look. Preview. And now this one is enjoying the lake. Okay, so that's how you do animation for your object. So you could actually draw a path, connect those lines. You could add the shapes or loops if you decide to use some of this animations. Okay, so those are the more option effect. So again, you have your entrance effect, your emphasis effect, your exit effect, and motion effect. So these are all in animation. Okay, so I guess I am going to share with you again this PowerPoint presentation. So we were able to utilize this, and I have in this presentation some references about what I have shown you. So you could actually have additional references to use to be able to get into the notes. I'm going to email to you this presentation. Now, I would also like to ask some of you or all of you, if you can, to actually help me complete this survey for the class, the PowerPoint Advanced survey link. So you could actually put some of your comment or any suggestions that will actually help us be able to offer a class for the next quarter or so. If you think that you need to be able to learn again PowerPoint basic, you could actually put that in your link just in case you would like to, or if there's any advanced feature that you would like to learn, you could actually put it also in the survey that I could consider as another topic in the future. Okay, so you could actually click on the PowerPoint link when I send it to you, or if you have your phone with you right now, you could use your phone and use the QR code right in front of you to do the actual evaluation at this point. Okay, so if you have time to be able to do that, please actually do so. Okay, so if you have any other question and pertaining to the discussion we had today, once again, this was actually recorded. Okay, it is currently in progress. Give me about a week. I will post it in our Transit University site so you could replay this class or recorded class in the future for your review. And I will also, after the class, I'm going to send you the survey and as well as the presentation that you could use for your reference. Can you show how to add customized sound? Okay, sure. So let me just minimize this quickly since I still have time. So let's say I would like to put a sound in this, okay? And let's say I would like to apply sounds in anything that you would like to do, okay? So you have your animation, you could actually, or let's just put it in the, this one, okay? So if I click here, and of course you have your insert your sound. So you have your insert, and you see you have your audio. You could play your audio with your PC or record your PC right there. If you wanted to have something playing for all your entire presentation, this is basically what you do. Audio on my PC or record an audio. When you could actually be able to do so um, when you are while the presentation is running and you would like to talk, so you could actually record your audio. So that's actually about the audio. Now, if you wanted to just simply put some kind of sound as this presentation is going on, remember when I was doing the animations in here, right? So you could also put your sound. So for instance, right here, if I put here on my effect options, I have here the sound and I could say What are the sounds? There are built-in sounds in here. See the sounds? If you have other sounds, if you have any of the sounds in your that you have recorded and you have it on your computer, you could actually use that. But if you just wanted to use, of course, some of this, like for instance, the sound of a typewriter, and you click OK, okay, that's basically what will happen. If you wanted to put it to all of your you know, presentation, you could actually do so. No sound, and I would have a consistent typewriter sound. Then I could say typewriter, and that's a sound. I click OK. So when you do your preview, see that? That's every time it actually, depending on the level that you, um, can you continue to certain duration? What do you mean for certain duration? Animation continue for certain duration. Oh, yeah. You don't hear the sound because I did not share with a sound. I have to set my recordings to the with a sound. But I could send you the procedure on how to add a sound. Okay. So can you the animation continue for certain duration? Yes, you could actually, the animation you wanted to continue for a duration. So do you mean the animation for the text, or do you mean the animation for the graphics, for the picture? So just like in here, if you have this animation, again, if you are on your timing, so if for the picture, yes. Okay, so you wanted it, you could animate it for the, yeah. So you could actually put the timings in it. You could start when they want to start it, the delay in it, or the duration. So if you wanted the duration to only, but like, you see, it's just basically the duration is also your speed in here. So if I say slow, okay, and if I click OK, so you see how, okay, and if you wanted to actually, yeah, so that's basically the duration. You could put a little delay if you wanted to. You notice if I change also the delay, it could also put a little impact on how you sound could be downloaded like pictures. Yes, there are a lot of sounds that you could get online for free, and you could also, create your own sounds. You see, that's the delay. You see how the delay actually happens, right? So that before it goes to another one, and that's basically the delay. Yeah. So those are the things, and I could, if you want me to share this presentation, I could share this presentation with you, so you could actually practice it, and you could change uh, some of you know, the the animations or even the icons. So I'm going to put it in, probably I'm going to put it in our Transit University once the recording becomes available. So you could all use this to practice. And if you have any question, feel free to send me your question. So I guess that is it for today. So I am going to say goodbye to everybody. Thank you for, again, let me stop. Okay, there you go. And thank you very much for joining me this afternoon.